Hi, this is your assistant principal, Mr. Manting, and this is the Plainwell Middle School Llama, and we're here to tell virtual students how to vote in this year's mock election. So the presidential election is coming up on Tuesday, November 3rd, but we here in Plainwell Middle School are going to do our voting the week before. We're going to have a mock election to help us learn about the voting process, and that includes you, our virtual students. So what you're going to do first is you're going to click on the link in the email that I sent you. That's going to take you to this Google form, which is for voting. You'll notice right here, it's going to have your plainwellschools.org email. That way we verify that it's a vote from one of our students. If you do not see that right there, or that's not your email, make sure you are signed in to your school account. Then underneath is a list of all the presidential candidates on the ballot. You might be surprised that there are not just Joe Biden and Donald Trump on the ballot, but there are actually a bunch of different candidates. These are the candidates that qualified in the state of Michigan, and if we were to go to other states, we might find even other candidates that qualified in those states. Candidates to be on the ballot need to collect a certain amount of signatures at a certain time in order to be included. So you're going to make your selection here. For these purposes, I'm going to click on Roque de la Fuente from the Natural Law Party. Then here it says, what class do you have first hour? I'll tell you why that's important later, but right now you're going to go down and you're going to click virtual. So it doesn't matter what hour shows up on your schedule. If you're a virtual student, you're going to choose virtual for your first hour. And the last thing, you are going to type your name right here. It'd be nice if I could spell my name. There we go. And make sure your name matches the email address up here. Okay, it's okay. I have Benjamin Manting. It says Ben Manting here. That's okay. But you don't want a completely different name than the one that appears in your email address. In the real election on November 3rd, there's a couple ways that people can vote here in Michigan. One, people can go to the polls and vote on election day. You need to show a piece of ID that has a picture on it, as well as sign a sheet saying that you are who you say you are, and then you're allowed to vote. But this year, there are a lot of people that voted early. You could vote by mail, in which case you filled out your ballot, it got mailed to you, and then you signed the envelope indicating that you really are who you say you are, and you mailed it in. Or you could go to your county clerk's office and you could vote there. So there's a bunch of different ways that you could vote in that election. That's why we have the signature, or in this case, a digital signature on this voting, because in a real election, they verify who you are. When you're done with that, you'll click submit and your vote will be counted. You may or may not know that the voters on November 3rd will not determine the presidential election alone. They'll play an important role, but the election will ultimately be decided by a group of elected people called the Electoral College. So the way the framers set up the Constitution is that each state would get a certain amount of Electoral College votes. So it takes all of your representatives to the United States House of Representatives. It adds your 2 senators from your state, and that's how it gets that number. So in Michigan, we have 14 representatives in the House of Representatives and 2 senators. So it gives Michigan 16 Electoral College votes. The biggest state, California, has 53 members in the U.S. House of Representatives and 2 senators, which gives it 55 votes. Now, almost every state gives all of their Electoral College votes to one candidate. So, for example, in Michigan, if Joe Biden wins Michigan, even if he only does it by 1 vote, all 16 of Michigan's Electoral College members will vote for Joe Biden, giving him 16 votes in the Electoral College. It would be the same way with Donald Trump. Even if Donald Trump only wins Michigan by 1 vote, he will get all 16 of Michigan's votes in the Electoral College. There are 538 total votes. A candidate needs to get half or more of those. So a candidate needs to get 270 votes. If I look back at the map from the last presidential election, I can see which states gave their Electoral College votes to President Trump in red and to Hillary Clinton in blue. So in the end, including Michigan, Donald Trump won 306 Electoral College votes, which gave him more than half, and he was able to win. Hillary Clinton got 232 Electoral College votes. So we will see in this election who gets the most Electoral College votes. Strange part about the last election, Hillary Clinton actually received more votes than Donald Trump. But because Donald Trump won more electoral college votes, he became the president. So we have divided our school up to have a simulation of the electoral college. There are 641 students in our school this year. But we've broken it down into electoral college by first hour teacher. So what I did is I took the amount of students in each subject area for their first hour, divided it by 6, and then added 2. That represents the House of Representatives plus 2 senators. So for example, all the students that have ELA first hour, whichever candidate wins more of their votes will get 17 electoral college votes. Same for foreign language, we'll get 12, math 19, electives 21, science 16, social studies 12, and you are virtual students. Whoever gets more votes for the virtual students will get 20 electoral college votes. In our school electoral college, you need 59 votes to win. So if a candidate wins the virtual students, they will be over a third of the way towards victory. So as soon as you watch this video, you are free to go ahead and start voting. You're only allowed to vote once, and it does log your email address to make sure you do not vote multiple times. The voting period ends at 2:30 when the school day ends on Friday. So make sure your vote is in by then so it's counted. We'll announce the results on Monday of next week. I hope you enjoyed taking part in this mock election, and may the best candidate win.